Hi everyone, it's Justine, and I am going to show you a whole bunch of cards that I have made with the new Nancy McCabe Toolbox Essentials collection, and I'm also going to make some more. The ones that I'm showing you at first are a little more simple, and then we're going to get into the more complicated coloring, more foiling, and they're just a little more advanced. But let's just dive right into what comes in her collection. So I'll just pop on the screen here an image that shows you the whole collection. Let's go through my simple cards. So I made these cards with some glimmering and some hot foiling. I basically was just kind of getting myself familiar with the collection, so I will do this a lot. I will pick a few different colors of foil and paper and just play around with it. And these turned out so well that I just kind of kept going, and I made these 4 really simple note cards. These are perfect to have on hand for thank you cards, especially with the sentiment "nailed it." To me, it really reads a thank you card. So those are the 4 kind of simple thank yous. And this was another thank you that I have the foil plate turned the other direction. And then I added the sentiment, "You came, you sawed, you fixed. Thank you for all you do." And that's what I'm talking about. That pun there, that is hilarious to me. And I think that is a perfect thank you card. It has, a little bit of a step up because it has the stamped element on there. It has a few layers of cardstock, and it's just a little bit more than just a typical thank you card. Then this one is kind of like a rustic one. The glimmer foiling didn't turn out the best. I waited a little too long to put it through my platinum, but it does kind of give a rustic look, and for tools, I think that is totally appropriate. Plus a fun stamp from the collection, a cut above the rest. And this one, I purposely turned this one on its side, and I wanted it to be more of a diagonal look, and I think it turned out really fun with blue foil and a blue card. Again, it's pretty simple, but it does pack a punch with that beautiful glimmer on there. And my last simple one, I used the sentiment "love you to bits," which I thought was kind of fun because bits and bobs and garages are all over the place, at least so it is in our house. So I think it works really well with the tools, and it makes kind of a masculine thank you card. So that's kind of fun as well. And then to get this edge, I used my scissors that has the spring in it. It really makes fussy cutting so easy. So if you don't have a scissors like this and you fussy cut a lot, save your hands and grab one. I think this one's Fiskars. I think I got it just at my craft store in town, but they probably have them really anywhere that they sell craft scissors, but these are just awesome. Let's get the little more advanced ones out so I can finish them up. I have a few here that I have been just playing around with, and I cannot wait to put them together today. I am just so excited. So anyway, here we go. The stamp sentiment on the card is from the sentiments that are in that stamp set, and then the shapes themselves, I use black foiling to hot foil that on, and then I use my Copic markers to color it. And I really wanted to do this because I wanted to color the tools without using the die cut shapes, just to show another way that you can use the glimmer plates. And yes, I did fussy cut all the tools out, and it did take some time. And of course it takes some time to use Copic markers and color things, but this was just showing another way to use this really awesome collection for a different style of cards. All right, there's the last tool going on, and that's the finished card. It is kind of fun making a little less girly cards. That is really my bread and butter for my style, and it was fun kind of getting out of my comfort zone and trying something new, just playing around with all of these little tools and not using glitter. It was just kind of interesting. I have noticed a few different cards using this collection that kind of go the pink or purple route and make kind of a girly tools card, which is so fun. So maybe I'll make one of those sometime. But for these cards, they're going to be kind of this color scheme of just regular tools. For most of the tools, if I didn't use the silver mirror cardstock, I just used white cardstock. And then I took my Copic markers and colored the pieces exactly what color I wanted them to be. And that just really gave me the opportunity to make the colors kind of coordinate together the way I wanted them to be, and not be kind of stuck with whatever cardstock that I could scrounge up in my craft room. And that's kind of a technique that I started using when I started making the more realistic flower cards, just because you can have the opportunity to make the paper be exactly what color you want it when you use markers. And you can see here, yes, it bleeds to the back, but once it's on the card, no one will be able to see that weird back. And I think it's really clever that they included the roller brush and the paintbrush in this collection, because well, I used it on this card, but I also have my next card is kind of like a painting theme, so stay tuned, I guess. Anyway, I think that these cards would be really fun to make some Father's Day cards with. All right, as I put my last piece on, I will next grab my foam tape and I'm going to pop up my next piece. It's almost a shame to cover up any of these pieces with a sentiment, but I think that it will just kind of tie the whole look together. So I am going to add on the sentiment with just a little bit of foam tape. This foam tape I got at $1.25 Tree like a year ago, so I think it was $1 Tree at that point. But there's definitely all sorts of brands of foam that you can buy. I do like the Spellbinders little squares that they get in, or that they have, but for things like this, I think a tape is a little more appropriate. So there is a look at the advance card number 2. I'll just put it next to it so we don't have to cover up anything else. Okay, my next card is kind of like a painting themed card. And to start it off, I used this embossing folder. I think it was called Sun Rays. It was from one of the monthly subscriptions, I think from last year, if I remember correctly. But it just is kind of fun to add a little texture to the background and really let the die cut shapes shine. So I'm going to put on the paint brush and roller first, and then I'm going to probably pop up this sentiment as well, just to give it a little dimension. I love the way that these die cut tools turned out, because they aren't just one layer. They have, the bumps of the handle, and I tried to use my Copic markers on the handle of these paintbrushes to make like a wood look to them, and it was just kind of neat to try. Now, if you notice the difference between this roller brush and the one that I just made, I used the silver mirrored cardstock to make the handle on this one, or to make the long neck part, and then the bottom, you can see I colored it differently than that one, and look at the difference of the look of the tool. It's the same die, but with markers I made it look like something totally different, and that's really fun to do. I think just kind of get creative and just try something. It was really nice to have this stamp set in my collection, because I don't have any other stamp like this in my collection that is really all about kind of like moving in to a new place. So again, I think this is a really cool collection, super unique. I really do like the way that the silver mirror cardstock looks with these tools. I think it just really gives it a step up, and it's a cut above the rest, It's not just the foiling. You can see the difference. Look at this hammer, and then look at the die cut hammer. There is a size difference, so you can see why you would probably want to have both the glimmer plate and the die cut shapes in your collection, just for size versatility. But you know, some people are glimmer people, so that's an option. Some people are die cut people, so that's an option as well. So lovely that they gave us those two choices. And some people are like me, who like both. If you're like me and you're thinking, oh, that looks great, but it needs an embellishment, because that's what my brain is telling me, I pulled out these two little adhesive packs. So I think that the silver would look really neat with this one, but also the black. Now these are self-adhesive little sticker embellishments from Spellbinders, and I just can't really decide on which one yet. I love using my tool-in-one for adding on these gems, just because they are already all adhesed up, ready to go. And is that a word, adhesed? They have self-adhesive on the back, so I don't have to add any glue, and they just pop right on. And I think I'll just stick with 5 for now. I think that looks like a good little, that looks like a good amount to me. Okay, now I'm going to make my last card. Now this card was kind of fun to make with the black foil again, and then I colored the tools right on that paper. So no cutting, just foiling and coloring. I think that that was really a pretty clean foil, and I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. Then for my sentiment, I used a stamp set that is from Spellbinders. I can't remember the name of it, but I will put a picture of it on the screen here, and that, but I will link it in the description. And it's a very simple, clean, Happy Father's Day sentiment that I think is perfect to pair with this glimmer set. Again, I'm going to pop it up. Now I'm going to give you another trick. I want this to be centered, and this foam tape is so darn sticky that once it's on, it's not moving. So even though it has stick on the foam, I'm using some of my Barely Art glue, and I'm just loading this sucker up because I want to be able to wiggle this around if I need to make it straight. I did not go through all of the trouble, if you will, to glimmer a nearly perfect glimmer and then color this with Copic markers in the lines, cut it out, put it on a card base for my sentiment to be crooked. So here I am using my Barely Art liquid glue hack here. Anyway, all right, now that it's on, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and wiggle as needed. Grab a few of these little silver embellishments and finish up this card. Let's just stick with 3, not go too blingy. Anyway, I hope that you've liked these cards and hopefully been inspired by some of them. If you're interested, I will have Nancy's collection linked in the description, as well as the sentiment, as well as a stamp set for this sentiment. But I would love to know your favorite card. Is it some of the more advanced ones that take a little more time, or is it the clean and simple ones that are simple foiling that pack a punch with the beautiful foiling of the tools? Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I cannot wait to keep making more cards with this. You can see, let's see, I have 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 cards, and I typically do not do that when I am working with a collection. 13 is a lot. I mean, I did spend a lot of time making these cards, and when I work through a collection for YouTube videos, I don't make 13 typically, and you can see that this one really did inspire me to make a whole bunch of cards, and I am not even finished at this point. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you get to pick up this collection soon and make some awesome tool cards with this collection. So thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you in my next video. Bye!